Hi everybody, Father Ryan O'Neill.
I'm Adrian.
We are here to talk to you today about St. Paul Miki and Companions, we celebrate his feast day today, February 6th. And Adrian, how about you start us off by telling us a little bit of the background of the story of St. Paul Miki and Companions?
Well, all right then. On August 15th, 1549, St. Francis Xavier and a couple of other Jesuit missionaries arrived in southern Japan in the town of Kagoshima. And initially, the spread of Christianity, while not encouraged, was allowed by the Japanese government because they saw an economic benefit to it. They wanted to open up trade relations with the West, even in a limited capacity. However, very soon after scores of Japanese converted to Christianity, this was then seen as a threat to the Japanese concept. They call it Nihon-teki, so anything that was purely Japanese.
Which brings us to the main character of our story, Paul Miki himself. Paul Miki joined the Jesuits in 1580, and he was inspired by the early missionaries.
Mm-hmm. Now, among the scores of Japanese that converted to Christianity included some of the high-ranking generals, including Ukon Takayama, who many called the Japanese Thomas More, because he was a leader in the faith. And then the bad guy in our story was the military dictator at the time. His name was Toyotomi Hideyoshi, and he was one of the ones that saw the spread of Christianity as a huge threat to the purely Japanese way of life. And so he started giving orders to all of his underlings to start stamping out Christianity in any way that they could.
Which led to the martyrdom on February 5th, 1597, of 26 Christians.
Yeah, yes. So they were martyred on February 5th. And the way that they were martyred in Nagasaki, so on the same island as Kagoshima, where St. Francis Xavier originally landed, they had to march approximately 600 miles to get down to Nagasaki, to the site of their execution. And while they were marching, many eyewitnesses say that they were chanting the Te Deum. And St. Paul Miki was 33 years old when he died.
Just like our Lord.
Just like our Lord. And he gave his last sermon from up on the cross. And during his sermon, he publicly and very deliberately forgave the military dictator, the emperor, anybody else who would have wished his death. He said salvation is only available to those who follow the Christian way, and also Christ teaches us to forgive all of those who would wish us harm, and to wish that they would want a Christian baptism of their own. At the end of his sermon, he also quoted part of Psalm 31, and he said, "Lord, into your hands I commend my spirit," just like our Lord did up on the cross.
Then on September 14th, 1627, these 26 martyrs were beatified by Rome. And then in June, on June 8th, 1862, they were all canonized as saints for the Universal Church. And so we celebrate them today. We ask that you would help us by praying for Japan. 0.5% of Japan is Catholic right now, and 1% of Japan is Christian in total. So they definitely need some help and a conversion. We also could all use a little conversion ourselves. So, St. Paul Miki and Companions,
Pray for us.